Welcome to Bluefield, Virginia, everybody. Inside the dome for the Rams, taking on the NAIA reigning champions, Union College Bulldogs. Hello, everybody. Bailey Engel here. Glad to have you with us for another edition of Rams Men's College Basketball here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Rams coming off of a tough loss a few days ago on the road against Pikeville, a team that is undefeated, and now another test still at home here in the first game of 2018 for Bluefield against the Union College team, albeit with a fresh set of faces, but still the NAIA Division II champions of last year. Rams coming on as 7-4, 3-2. Union College at 8-5 and 5-2. It's Anthony Nelms taking the floor with Kevin Schmidt, as well as David Tripp, Sean Robinson, and Jorge Concepcion. KJ Duronslet in to try to tip off here with Stanthony Nelms. A couple of bounces from the referee, looped in the air and taken on the far side out of bounds. It'll stay with Bluefield. Wearing the white jerseys with the red letters and the blue trim. Point guard will be Sean Robinson. Young man coming out of North Carolina, Stanthony Nelms, the senior, on as a starter. Taking the ball across midcourt, straight into the left wing to start out the first half. Good defense from Dominique Lindsay. Top of the key, David Tripp feeds Stanthony Nelms on the right wing, puts it on the deck. Errant pass goes across midcourt, and that'll be a turnover. 19:39 remaining in the first half, and not a great start for Bluefield. Taking the ball up for Union College, it'll be Dominique Lindsay. Guard, the senior out of Tyrone, Georgia. He was on the team last year. Top of the key over to the young man, Austin Cummins. Bounce down low, looking for help. Spin in the air, and he is fouled. That was Stuart Jackson. Jackson went up looking for a shot, and a foul called on David Tripp. Rather, it was on the floor, still scoreless. So they did not call a shooting foul. It'll be an inbounds pass for Lindsay. Ball overhead, passes inside to Jackson. Lob back top of the key. Cummins launches a three. Front iron no good as Stanthony Nelms jumped up and clapped the ball with two hands. Still no score as Nelms launches his way towards the basket, and he lost it. Going for a dunk. He was blocked. Picked away by David Tripp. Tipped and over to Dominique Lindsay. At the top of the key, feeds back over to Jackson in the left corner. Back over up top to Lance Blakely, who sinks the three. Nothing but net, and actually rang the rim to make it 3-0. So the triple falls for the young man for Union, 3-0. Now Blakely, a guy, the junior from Lexington, Kentucky, actually scored 18 points and lost to Asbury in the last game that Union played. Wearing the black jerseys, 12 on the shot clock. Robinson, stutter step into the lane, bounce in the corners as Stanthony Nelms, and he let it go through his legs. Costly turnover, and it's 3-0. Well, Richard Morgan, always pretty excitable on the other end of the court. He's frustrated with that turnover. Part of the second one for Bluefield. 18:38 remaining in the first half. More fans starting to trickle in that have stayed over here in Bluefield throughout the break. Stuart Jackson with possession. Cross-court pass to Duronslet. Now back over to Cummins. Hard feed to Blakely near the top of the key, and with a stutter step, lobs it back out to Cousins. Chest pass on the right end to Lindsay. Crossover dribble. Top of the key. Launches a tray. No good. And a rebound for Stuart Jackson. Under the basket. Lost the ball. Duronslet once again popped the ball up. Jackson corralled it. Hard step towards the lane. Can't get it to fall. And a rebound finally corralled by David Tripp. 3-0. Still the score at 18 minutes of the first half. Here's Tyquan Reed for the first time. Back out up top to Sean Robinson. Hands it off. Back over to Concepcion. Near the top of the key. He'll dribble on the left wing. Hand off to Robinson. Bluefield playing quick. Robinson, step back. Launches the triple and rattles it through the nylon. Well, the action position for Bluefield in his first year, the junior from Wilmington, North Carolina. Able to tie it up with 3-3. Cummins on the other end. His three bounces away. No good. Toronto back and pushes it off the window. 5-3. Now making it a two-point lead for Union. Toronto, the guy in the junior from Sacramento, California. His first year with Union doesn't have a national championship break. Robinson hoping for the right wing. Over in the corner to David Tripp. Angles the ball to the top of the yard. Hand off Concepcion. Not shot yet. Off of Schmidt. Angles down the left side. Euro step. Gets it off the glass. And the last ball for the foul. Jorge Concepcion, a guy that is really off and on for Bluefield. He's not afraid to shoot. He takes over a game. It'll be tough for the Rams to lose. Now 5-5 this score. Concepcion going up. Try to shoot a free throw here. The young man from Chesapeake. First free throw, the only free throw goes through. Now makes it 6-5. Bluefield up by 1 with 3 minutes elapsed in the first half. Lindsay taking the ball across midcourt and parked near that Rams logo. Robinson with a hard step on the defense. Now down low for Blakely. Going up for 2, and he got it down the baseline. It's already 5 points for Lance Blakely, and it makes it 7-6. A 1-point lead for Union. Concepcion on the other end. Missed the 3 from the left wing. Rebound Blakely, and hands it off back over to a new man on the court, Jacoby Wharton. Lost the ball, and it's loose. Picked up by Taekwon Reed. Going towards the basket. His layup falls with a foul. Second and 1 of the game for Bluefield already. Makes it 8-7. Well, Taekwon Reed got the steal, had a hard Euro step, really slowed the game down to his pace, and got it off the window. First foul for Jacoby Wharton, sophomore from Louisville, Kentucky. 16:31 on the clock. Reed looking for the and one. Follows through with the left hand and makes it 9-7. Inbounds pass now to Lindsay, looking for a new offense. Rams lead by 2 in a back and forth first couple of minutes. Wharton in the right wing, bounce in the corner for Lindsay, a stutter step down the baseline and pushed out of bounds on a hard foul, prompting some yelling from Richard Morgan. That's something that's a little bit different in this small school brand of basketball. Don't have as many fans, you don't have that music going through, so you can really hear the coaches lay into some of the players, and Richard Morgan, not a guy that says anything incredibly disparaging, but that energy always there. Dominique Lindsay from the right end of the basket will inbounds it. 16:20 remaining. Pass into Blakely, a pump fake on the right block, underhands it right corner, over to Lindsay. Backing into the lane. Zips it top of the key to Wharton. Finding Cummins from the left wing, swishes a 3, and now a lead again for Union, 10-9. Well, Cummins, a guy that takes a ton of threes, nearly 100 trays taken by Austin Cummings. He's a 35% shooter. Jenkins, one-arm pass to David Tripp, who has not shot the basketball yet as well. 16 on the shot clock, bounce down low to Robinson. Beautiful reverse layup, and what a feed it was from David Tripp. So 2 guys that are in their first year of Bluefield, the juniors, able to get it done on that play. 11-10 now the score, 1-point lead for the Rams. Kobe Wharton back up top, over to Blakely. Underhands it to Cummins. A hard pass to Wharton, slipped on the right block, and it's a walk. Almost slipped on that floor. And on a hard pivot, Duronslet comes back in, and the 7-footer taken off Seth Cox, that was in the game for just a few moments. 11-10, 15:31 remaining in this first half. David Tripp with the ball over his head, hoping for help, finally gets it in Taekwon Reed, who's now under his own basket. Out of a double team, finds Sean Robinson, corrals it on a mismatch, picked out of bounds, and a steal almost executed by Lance Blakely. Well, Blakely tipped the ball out of bounds off of Sean Robinson. Now a 1-point lead for Bluefield, 15-24. Seth Cox now brought back in. That's a guy that's really going to have to duke it out under the basket. The man that is 6'11", junior from Greenfield, Indiana. Dominique Lindsay out up top, jogs into the left wing. Defense from Sean Robinson. Blakely steps into a triple and nails it. Second 3 made by Blakely, and it's now 13-11. Rams down by 2 after Blakely is starting to turn it on from beyond the arc. The junior from Lexington, Kentucky. Well, Robinson, the transfer from Caldwell Community College, a chest pass over to Concepcion. He returns it right back to his point guard. Well, the young 5'5" point guard working the ball around. Concepcion lobbing the Tripp in the corner. 10 on the shot clock, hoping for help. Powers his way through, steps and gets the layup to fall on a spin. Folks, he just hung that one up from his hips on a prayer and somehow tied the game. 13-13, 14:30 left in the first half. Back out to Cox. The 7-footer takes a long 3 and swishes it nothing but net. He had years to sink that shot, and he did, to make it 16-13. No substitutions all around. David Tripp into inbound. into the game, Ladarius Chester for Union. Now a pass in to Jeremiah Jenkins for the first time. His cross-court lob hauled in by Taekwon Reed. Bounce down low to Kevin Schmidt. On the left block, spins, hook shot with the left hand, air ball, and a rebound for Chester. Here comes Union, a fast lineup down the floor. Chester splits the defense, but fouled under the basket. A lot of energy played in this game so far. It's 16-13 in the first half. Clock is now stopped at 14:07. And for the Rams, it'll be interesting to see if they can keep up with that speed of Union and still maintain the accuracy that they need to have. Ladarius Chester bounces a shot through. Well, Chester has not played that much this year. But now the young man from Memphis, Tennessee, ready for his second free throw after hitting the first. Knocks them both down and makes it 19-13. Or 18-13 rather. 14:07 remaining. A bounce pass in to Taekwon Reed, returns it back to Tripp. And you have to see how Jeremiah Jenkins can get this done. Freshman from Norfolk, Virginia. Cross-court lob over to Concepcion, tipped back in, pushed out of bounds off of Dominique Lindsay right in front of his head coach. Kevin Burton in his 6th season as the head coach of Union with a national championship. Jeremiah Jenkins getting an earful from Richard Morgan in and going back onto the bench. Sean Robinson running the offense. 13 on the shot clock, 13:50 game clock, down by 5. Robinson chest pass over to Concepcion, towing down the baseline, slings it back out to Nelms on the left wing. Top of the key to Reed, arcs a 3, back iron, no good. Rebound to Ronslett, and a foul called on David Tripp on the rebounding effort. He had a push off. And now for Tripp, that is his second foul and team 4th in the first half. Rams down by 5, 13.5 minutes remaining here in this first half of play. It's been a quick game. Lindsay off a screen, shuffles towards the left wing, arcs it back to Jackson, and he swishes a 3 from the top of the perimeter. Threes are falling, and now the lead is 8, 21-13. So for Stuart Jackson, his first 3 taken, and he got it to go. Jenkins with a hard bounce to Concepcion. Reverse layup, and he crossed through the lane and got it off the glass. So now 21-15 after an athletic play. Bluefield winning the battles down low, but the threes are just sinking from everywhere for Union. 21-15, Lindsay on the left wing leading this team in assists. Pump fake for Jackson, returns back to Lindsay. Going down inside the arc, towing down the baseline, swings out to Jackson. Top of the key, pump fake, takes a shot from the elbow. Air ball, near out of bounds, and Seth Cox couldn't save it. Hard stop for Bluefield, stops the clock at 12:44. Now brought into the game for the first time for Bluefield, DeJuan Perry. Jacoby Wharton on his help for Union, wearing the black with the orange trim, black numbers as well. Here's Sean Robinson, cross-court pass to Perry, a shooting threat for the Rams. Going through the defense, gets out of the midcourt press. Anthony Nelms, top of the key, hands off to Robinson. Pump fake, hard step, almost slipped, and passes it back to Perry. 15 on the shot clock, Rams down by 6, 21-15. Now the point guard hoping for help. Zips it down low to Perry, bounce back up, top to Robinson. Pump fake, swings out left to Jorge Concepcion. 4 on the shot clock, inside the baseline, goes up at the buzzer, reverse layup, finds the basket. 21-17. Rams took the entire shot clock, but Concepcion, his second electrifying layup of the first half. The lead is 4 for Union. After it was 21-13, the Rams have found consecutive baskets for the young man from Chesapeake. Jacoby Wharton on the left wing, steps into a pass to Stuart Jackson, returns back to Wharton, bounce on the left side for DeRonslet. Baseline 2, no good, and David Tripp jumped up for the board. 21-17, Concepcion on the left wing again. Rams haven't gotten the 3 to fall as consistently as Union has. Down by 4, Concepcion off a screen at the top of the key, now powering his way down the lane, hangs up a prayer, and it doesn't fall off the glass. Rebound going the other way for Blakely, near the top of the arc, swings out left, over to Wharton. Blakely for 3 from the left corner, too short, and David Tripp jumped up with one arm and got it. 4-point deficit, 11:20 remaining in this game. 25 seconds on the shot clock. Bluefield now bringing this game down to a little bit of a calmer presence. Slowing it down, 17 seconds left on the shot clock. Perry almost lost the ball and did. And DeRonslet arguing with the referee. Thought that it was possibly off of DeJuan Perry, but instead they say it's off of the big man. Austin Cummins brought back on. Pass for Perry, swings it out, top of the key, over to Sean Robinson. 11 minutes, 10 on the shot clock. Now trickling down to 7. Robinson needs to move. Pass over to Perry. Looking for a pass. He has to shoot and does from the left side. And an ugly foul called on the shot. So Bluefield lucky because that was not a high percentage shot taken by DeJuan Perry. And instead he'll go to the free throw line with 2 shots. Down by 4. The first foul called on Austin Cummins. Kind of a hard play for Cummins. Leading scorer for the Bulldogs. First shot for Perry. Goes through. 21-18 now the score. Meanwhile, on for the first time for the Rams, Nae'Qwan Cousins. Makes this a 3-point contest. Bounce into Perry. Looking at the ball. His Rams trying to make this a 2-point game. Second shot for Perry. Nothing but net. 21-19 after he sinks both free throws. Rams still bringing the press. As now Lindsey able to split the defense, but a foul called near midcourt. That's going to be on Sean Robinson on the reach. 15th foul on Bluefield, and for Robinson, that's his second. 10:44 as the fouls are starting to pile up here. 3 team fouls for Union and 5 for the Rams. So Lindsey taking the ball across midcourt, off of a screen, shuffles on the left side. Blakely, hard pass down low to Cox, spins towards the basket, and gets the basket to fall off the glass. 23-19, a 4-point game. Bluefield still playing fast. It bounced to Cousins. On the pump fake, he slipped. Kick out to Nelms. Thought about the 3, didn't take it. 10:20 on the game clock now as Concepcion looked at his coach and got a new offense. Nelms with a drive into the lane, going up for 2, and draws the foul after missing the layup. 23-19, Nelms, a guy with a lot of motivation to really get something going in his senior season. Rams notably without Gage Yesbeck in street clothes in this game. That's a big presence down low. First shot for Nelms. Bounces away, no good. Well, that's the first foul called on Seth Cox. Jeremiah Jenkins back in. Richard Morgan yanked him out of the game after an errant pass. Second shot for Nelms. Swish. 23-20, 3-point game. Dominique Lindsey taking the ball up, the senior from Tyrone, Georgia, looking at his coach for a new offense. He'll get it. Austin Cummins, the sophomore, backs off of the defense from Jeremiah Jenkins. Bluefield setting up in his own. Jenkins still on Lindsey. Now on the right wing to Concepcion. Backs off of Jackson. Takes a 3. Rims out no good. And a lucky rebound for Jorge Concepcion because Jackson was wide open. 23-20 the score. 3-point lead for Union. Concepcion hoping for help on the left-handed dribble. 17 seconds on the shot clock, looking for a handoff. Instead spins off into the left wing. Now drives into the lane. Floater, no good. Too short. Nelms looking for the putback. Rebound, Cousins, and he's fouled on that effort. Nae'Qwan Cousins, he really elevates towards the rim, and if he can just corral that athleticism, he's going to be a tough player to look out for in the AAC in the years to come. Just a sophomore at Advanced Granville Community College. He came over as a transfer from that same community college with Taekwon Reed. Jeremiah Jenkins to inbound on the left side with a fresh shot clock at 30. 23-20 the score. Union leads. It'll be an inbounds for Jenkins. Lobs up, top of the arc to DeJuan Perry. 9:25 as he backs out. The shooting guard hands it off over to Olatunji Ebifemi. Looking for a long 2, too hard, and a rebound for Blakely coming down the other end. 9:15, Blakely bounces right over to Lindsey, going up with contact, and he finds the layup with the foul. That was a great dish from Blakely, and Lindsey got that layup up somehow with really 3 Bluefield College Rams all over him. The foul's going to be called on DeJuan Perry, his first, team 6th. 9:11 left in this first half. Shot for Lindsay. Nothing but net. 3-point play is executed. 23 turns to 26-20. Rams with a little bit of confusion, now finding the ball into Jeremiah Jenkins running the point as the freshman. Nelms lost the ball, somehow picked up by Jenkins, trying to get it across midcourt, and does to DeJuan Perry in the left wing. Now he'll settle down, 20 on the shot clock, going towards the rim. Lost the ball, but fouled on a tie-up. Going into the books, Jacoby Wharton. 2 shots for DeJuan Perry. So he's already 2 of 2 from the charity stripe in this game. 8:58 in the first half. DeJuan Perry, a guy coming out of Detroit, Michigan, went to Carson Newman Community College, D3 school in Tennessee. First shot, nothing but net. Second foul on Jacoby Wharton. Glad to have you with us here in this new year. First game on the men's side played in 2018 as DeJuan Perry sinks both. 26-22, the lead down to 4. Across midcourt, here comes Chester. Dish over to Duronslet, and he got the basket off of the window. Oh, Bluefield, that was an ugly defensive possession. They just let Union sprint down the floor and get the basket to fall. 8:38 left in the first half as Jenkins jogs over into the left wing. Good defense from Ladarius Chester, finds Ebafemi on the top of the key, and a handoff over to DeJuan Perry in the right wing. Going down the baseline for a floater off the glass. What a play by DeJuan Perry. Starting to really contribute on the scoring effort here. 28-22, a 6-point lead for Union. Darius Chester back out up top to Austin Cummins as the sophomore finds Duronslet. Pump fake, now stepping in the lane. Hard spin, blocked out of the air by Stanthony Nelms and picked up for Bluefield. Here comes Jeremiah Jenkins with Duronslet breathing down his neck. He'll back out, 8 minutes left here in the first half. 28-24, the freshman powers in the lane. Long contested 2, no good. Rebound Jacoby Wharton. Didn't like the offense. 4 points is the deficit, and that pass was rocketed by Jacoby Wharton, and it looked like it went off of the leg of Jeremiah Jenkins. So a kick ball. Now it's 7:48. Stuart Jackson will come in for Wharton. Seth Cox also back out onto the floor for Union. Rams looking for some substitutes as well. David Tripp on. Stanthony Nelms taking off to battle with Seth Cox. Concepcion also giving Ebafemi a high five, brought on. Blakely passes into Chester, taking the ball across midcourt, a 4-point lead for the Bulldogs. Blakely's hit a couple of threes. He has the ball near the top of the key. Lob down low to Cox on the right block. Turnaround shot, no good. Tipped out of bounds, and it will stay with Union. Off the hands of David Tripp. Fresh shot clock. Now an inbounds pass for Union on the right end. Ladarius Chester to take the ball. Junior from Memphis, Tennessee. Pass into Cox, almost lost the ball, corralled it, went down to the floor, and a foul called on Jorge Concepcion on the push. That's his first foul. 7:33 remaining here in this first half. Getting a little sloppy is now the Volunteer, just trying to get the sweat off of the top of the key. Seth Cox, the big man. Coming in at 6'11". He'll have a 1-and-1. Fresh shot. Good. And Cox, even at 6'11", has a beautiful follow-through. Now at 29-24. Hard dribbles for the big man from Indiana. Second shot. Front rim, no good. A good rebound from David Tripp on the left side of the basket. 5-point lead for the Rams, though, or for the Bulldogs, though. An underhand back to Jeremiah Jenkins. His pass almost stolen by Stuart Jackson. Instead, it goes out of bounds, and Bluefield will have it inbounds. Inbounds pass into Jeremiah Jenkins, 17 on the shot clock. Bounce over to Concepcion, feed around the key, over to DeJuan Perry. On the left side, hard pop to Cousins, feed down low to David Tripp, bounces out wide to Concepcion, feed to Perry, jumps into a 2 from the elbow, rims out, no good, rebound Cox. 5-point lead still with a flat 7 minutes first half. Lindsay, one of the better ball handlers we've seen at the Dome so far this year. Looping the ball around to Jackson. Now Blakely at the top of the key. Perry had a handout looking for a steal. Lindsay with a hard step, feeds it back up top to Blakely. 10 on the shot clock. Blakely lobs it into Cox, under the basket. Spinning around, loops back out to Jackson. Left wing, 3 on the shot clock. Looking for a layup, missed it. Concepcion going down with a ball, and it tips off of Duronslet. So a great defensive stance for Bluefield, down by now 5 points. Ladarius Chester back on. Lindsay taken off. Austin Cummins, one of the shooters for Union, on to pressure the inbounds. Full court press now on. Concepcion out of a trap, finds Jeremiah Jenkins going down the floor, zigzagging his way. Loops over to Cousins. Now a 3 from the corner, air ball. Rebound Tripp, going for the putback and fouled. He missed, but he'll have 2 shots. Well, it looked like Cousins just got a little bit too excited with that opportunity at a wide open 3. He missed, not really his shot, but David Tripp able to pick up the pieces and go for that putback, and he's fouled. Meanwhile, the foul called on Lance Blakely. First shot for Tripp, back iron, bouncing right back to him. So the game remains at 29-24. Tripp follows through and sinks the second free throw. 29-25 now the score. A 5-point game turns into a 4-point contest. 6:14 remaining in the first half. Cummins working the ball around the arc. Bluefield setting up in his own. Now turning into a man-to-man. Stuart Jackson back out up top to Chester. Duronslet on the right wing. Pump fake and a handoff over to Blakely. Stutter step feeds into Cummins on the left wing. 9 on the shot clock, backing out for the sophomore. Rams defense pretty stout. Now with a switch, off the screen, Ladarius Chester, hard step, long 3, no good. Back iron, rebound Cousins. Feeds it over to Perry. Bluefield on a bit of a run, down by 4. Over to Jenkins, lobs over to Tripp. Right corner 3, too hard. Chester with a rebound, and the 3s aren't falling for the big men. Chester looking for help. Euro step, layup, blocked by Tripp, but the putback not executed to perfection from Stuart Jackson, but he was fouled. So he'll have a couple of shots. 8th team foul for Bluefield. And that one will be on DeJuan Perry, his second. Jackson's first free throw. Bounces through. Make it now 30-25. Pretty back and forth game we've had so far. Union has been able to operate at a lead of about 4 or 5 points. Ever since the beginning of the game, the Rams were trading back and forth blows, but Union got up by 8. Rams have kept it around 4 or 5. Jackson with his second free throw and rattles through the 10. 31-25. Now the score, a 6-point lead. Jeremiah Jenkins barking for a new offense. 5.5 minutes in the first half. Lob over to Concepcion, hoping for help and angling for Naquan Cousins to go under the basket. Tyquan Reed back in, hoping for help. Lob over to Concepcion, a dangerous pass as he had to haul it in on a dancing move. Over to Concepcion and Jenkins from the free throw line. 15-footer, nothing but net for the freshman. 31-27, the lead is 4 once again. Now taking the ball across midcourt, Ladarius Chester is operated as the second point guard. That ball kicked out of bounds off of who exactly? Referee's trying to clarify, and it will stay with Union with 4:49 remaining in the first half. Darius Chester taken off. Lindsay back on. It's been kind of a swinging door between those two guards. Lindsay, the main point guard, the starter, but Chester has been proving himself to be pretty athletic in this game so far. 31-27. Top of the key, Lindsay operates with the ball, dancing in the left side, feeds to Duronslet on the top of the arc. Pump fake goes down the left side of the paint. Floater, back iron, no good. Cox with a putback, once again missed. And Bluefield able to pick it up off of the second effort from Austin Cummins. Bounce pass from Jenkins going towards David Tripp, and he's fouled on the layup. This is a pretty dangerous bounce from Jeremiah Jenkins. But still fouled as David Tripp able to draw the second foul on Seth Cox. Speed of the game really starting to pick up. 4:26 now remaining in this first half. Tripp from Connecticut, bend of the knees, shoots the first free throw and sinks it. Makes it 31-28, the lead down to 3 points. Stuart Jackson now brought into the game. Seth Cox taken off. Jackson, more of a dynamic big for Union College. Can shoot the three. A little bit more athleticism as well. Second shot for Tripp, rattles home. 31-29, the lead is now 2. And now that speed for Union starting to cool off a little bit as the pace of this game has started to exhaust some of the players. Jackson over to Lindsey near the top of the arc. Good defense from Jenkins. Off of a screen, Lindsey whips it over on the left side to Duranzlet. Now a feed to Jackson. Bounce down low. Picked away by Reed. Spinning. Finding Jenkins on the right end of the basket. Going up for the layup and foul. And now these fouls are starting to pick up. Jenkins hit hard going for 2 shots. That's the second foul called on Duranzlet. And the 19th foul as well here in this first half. 4:03 remaining. Now Jenkins will have a chance to tie up this game. One of the few freshmen. First shot, nothing but net. And you see a lot of these guys, maybe first-year players for Bluefield, but that means they've came out of community colleges and other opportunities, and Jeremiah Jenkins doing a great job sinking both free throws to tie it up at 31-31. The true freshman with the pressure on Dominique Lindsey. Taking the ball across midcourt, Concepcion pressuring Lindsey, got his way out of the trap. Duranzlet corralled the ball. One arm pass, down low to Blakely, turn around and smack to the rim. Looking for the putback, Donnell Gooch fighting for the ball, and the big man got it. Foul called on Duranzlet. That's his 3rd foul, making a team 10th. Donnell Gooch went up, got the block, fought for the rebound, and finally got it. 3rd foul for the forward for Union. Junior from Sacramento, California. Now Donnell Gooch, big man at 6'9", coming from Clarendon College in Wendell, North Carolina, or from Wendell, North Carolina. Looking to take the lead here. They'll have 2 shots. Bluefield now in the double bonus. First free throw, rims out. Anthony Nelms now on. Seth Cox returning to the game. Duranzlet taken off with 3 fouls. Gooch looking for a second free throw to fall. Shoots and scores. 32-31, the lead back for Bluefield. Now with 3:40 remaining in the first half. Lindsey taking the ball across midcourt. Good defense from Jeremiah Jenkins. Nelms fighting it out with Stuart Jackson right in front of Richard Morgan. Jackson now with it, top of the key, puts it on the deck, working around the perimeter. Cummins in possession. Hand off Lindsey. Swings on the right side to Blakely. 11 on the shot clock. Around the corner over to Jackson. Hand off to Lindsey. Good pressure from Jenkins. Back up top to Cummins. Launches a 3. Front rim no good. Bouncing around. Rebound for Lindsey. And he'll back it out to set up a new offense. Ricocheting around Bluefield, and they just couldn't get the rebound. Still, that defense really is there. And now in the zone, the Rams bench getting into it. David Tripp on his feet. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Lindsey through the pressure, gets the lane, and gets the layup. 33-32. 2:50 remaining in the first half. Jenkins slowing the game down. It's been back and forth. Haymakers being swung at each other, figuratively, of course. Lob to Donnell Gooch. Backdoor bounce to Nelm. Swings out right over to Reed. Pump fake long 2 and sinks the long jumper right in front of the arc. 34-33. Open shot. 2.5 minutes left to go in the game. Or left to go before halftime, I should say. And now an offensive foul called. A technical on Lance Blakely, still arguing with the referee. And Tyquan Reed able to really get Union out of system here. Rams up by 1. And it will be a technical foul on Blakely. And he still is pretty irate on the floor. Rams looking to choose who will shoot the free throw, and they will go with the freshman Jeremiah Jenkins. Well, Jenkins all by himself. First free throw, rims out. So the Rams point guard missing his first free throw. He was 2 of 2, now 2 of 3 after the technical foul from Lance Blakely. Second free throw, got it. 35-33. Just now joining us, the Rams losing in the first game of the doubleheader from the women's side. Well, Jenkins thinking that it's their ball, and instead the technical will stay with Union. Inbounds pass with Lindsay on the right corner. Pass inbounds to Blakely, almost lost it, spins into a shot from the right side, missed. Long rebound, looking for it, Taekwon Reed. Now on a break, going 2-on-2. Reed down in the lane, lost the ball, picked away by Cummins. One-arm path to Seth Cox, and he lost the ball as well. Here's Donnell Gooch, and he'll corral it back up top to Jeremiah Jenkins. 2 minutes left in the first half. Rams lead by 2. Jenkins chest pass over to Concepcion. Rams have slowed it down and really had all the momentum in the last few minutes here in the second half. Off the screen, Jenkins, hard bounce to Concepcion, toes down the baseline, whips out top of the key, Reed for 3. Front iron, no good. Rebound for Blakely. Rush off of the technical, 1:40. Blakely dribbles behind the back, stolen by Reed, going coast to coast. 2-0 as Reed finishes the easy layup. Another steal for Taekwon Reed. That athleticism as he just pickpocketed Lance Blakely, make it 37-33, a 4-point lead for Bluefield. In the wing for Stuart Jackson, Union really losing that tenacity they had early on in the first half. Cox backed out of the perimeter and a handoff back to Blakely with 13 on the shot clock. Reed, hard defense, back out up top to Cummins, crossover dribble, hopes for help and finds it in Jackson. 5 on the shot clock. Jackson, bounce top of the key to Lindsay, steps into a tray, front iron, rebound Nells. Bluefield leading by 4 with all the momentum trying to go into halftime with possibly a 3-possession lead. Near the top of the key, here's Reed, hoping for help. He's had a couple of steals and the Rams slowing it down. 40 seconds on the game clock, 10 on the shot clock. Jenkins hands it off to Concepcion. Long tray, rims out, rebound Cox. 4-point lead for Union. Still a good look for Jorge Concepcion. Shot clock is not off. There's about a second differential between game clock and shot clock. So now it looks like Lindsay will try to drain this shot to get that last possible shot. Jenkins with the defense as Lindsay is parked right on that Rams logo. 8 on the shot clock, same on the game clock really. Lob down to Blakely, couple of bounces back, looks for a 3. Doesn't get it at the buzzer, a rebound for Jenkins, and Bluefield will go into the locker room leading by 4. Richard Morgan all fired up as the Rams really fought hard in that one. We're going to be at halftime here at the Dome, moments away from second half coming up here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Bluefield bringing the energy in the first half. They lead 37-33 at halftime with about 6.5 minutes remaining in this intermission. Bailey Engel here. Glad to have you with us here across the Rams Digital Sports Network. Well, the Rams really kicking up the turnover game right there at the end. Union with 5 turnovers, but Taekwon Reed doing a great job with the steals. The young man already has 3 steals, amounting to 3 of those 5 Union College turnovers. Rams also shooting pretty well from the field, 50% at 11 of 22. And beyond the arc, they are 1 of 6 still, but still finding those shots early and getting those open looks that they want to. Rams able to take a 4-point lead. Leading the way for Bluefield with the total points, 2 players with 7. Taekwon Reed has 7, as does Jorge Concepcion the third with 7 points of his own. Rebounding Bluefield, winning in this one 15-14, just by 1. Pretty even matchup, but really those steals from Taekwon Reed, after having 3 of them, it really has amounted to quite a lot for Bluefield. Up by 4, looking for a tough first half for Union, shooting 35.5% from the field. From 3, they were 5 of 13, leading the way for them. Lance Blakely, who did get teed up early in that first half, he has 8 points to go with 4 rebounds. He does have 2 turnovers as well as 2 assists. Right behind him, a couple of players with 5 points, Stuart Jackson as well as Dominique Lindsay. And then Seth Cox, the big man, has already hit a 3 and is converted at the free throw line for 6 points. Just about 5 minutes left to go in this halftime. Coming back with the second half right after this. It's 37-33 here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Almost ready to go with the second half here in Bluefield. Rams lead by 4, ready to go for another period of Bluefield College Rams basketball. My name is Bailey Engel. Been a close one between the Bluefield College Rams and the reigning NAIA Division II champions, Union College Bulldogs. Now the Rams will go left to right. Now Union going right to left, and they start out with the ball. Duranza with 3 fouls. Inbounds a pass into Lindsay. Bluefield hoping for another turnover. And they have not started the shot clock yet, so that will be down to 25 seconds after it's 19:55 on the game clock. Get a reset to the right time. Bounce pass into Duranza, and a long lob on the backcourt to Dominique. Dominique Lindsay with a bounce pass, and now Blakely scurrying down the lane, loops it over on the right side to Lindsay. Floater from 5 feet, no good, but he drew a foul. Well, Dominique Lindsay, guy getting the start, really switching out between him and Dario Little. And first shot for him, good. Now it is 37-34, the lead cut down to 3 points. Second shot, good, as it falls for both for Dominique Lindsay. 37-35 the score. All around Bluefield trying to keep that scoring momentum going, taking the ball across midcourt. There's Jeremiah Jenkins on the floor, or rather on the bench is Sean Robinson. Takes the ball up for Bluefield. In the right wing, one-on-one defense from Lindsay. Pass it over to Concepcion and shoots it from the top of the key on a long 2 to drain it to make it 39-35. A 4-point lead once again for Bluefield. Taking the ball across, it's Lindsay trying to get something going. Finding Blakely. Left corner 3, good. Blakely's hit a few threes, and now he's in double figures with 11. 39-38. Here's Jenkins, a one-arm pass to Stanthony Nelms on the right side. Back up top to Concepcion, hoping for help, backs off, shuffling on the far sideline, hoping for a screen from Kevin Schmidt. He'll get it. Top of the key, Concepcion, 10 on the shot clock. Now down the lane, pops a 5-footer and gets it to fall. 41-38 the score. 3-point lead for the Rams as Lindsay walks the ball across midcourt. 18:30 left to go in this one. Oh, Cummins, a guy that showed some aggression early on. Now Bluefield able to lock him down in the latter moments. 10 on the shot clock. Hard pass to Lindsay. Feed back out to Blakely. Left wing 3. Too hard. No good. Put back for DeRonslet. He's fouled on his way up. So the shot doesn't fall, and now the junior will have 2 shots. Meanwhile, it's the second team foul on Bluefield here in the second half. Kevin Schmidt, the freshman. Little hard bounces, first shot, rattles home as DeRonslet is back on the board to make it 41-39. Now bouncing in, looking for his second free throw. Shoots, back iron, rebound David Tripp. 2-point lead for Bluefield as Sean Robinson will take the ball up. 2 minutes elapsed in the second half. Rams looking for what could be a great win to start out 2018 against a really evenly matched Union College squad. Concepcion dances towards the top of the key. Hard drive, lost the ball, picked up by Blakely, and here comes Austin Cummins. Going straight down the floor on the left side, pulls up for 2 and banks it home. So now it's tied, 41-41. John Robinson on the far side looking for help. One arms it over to Concepcion right in front of his head coach and Richard Morgan, hoping for some sort of offensive prowess now. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Jenkins, walks back out top of the key, looking for help. Feeds it over to Tripp. Down the lane, spins, looking for 2. Off the glass, no good, and no rim, so Stanthony Nelms shot right at the buzzer. Didn't actually get off, and it was stuck right into the basket. Meanwhile, Taekwon Reed brought back on. Stanthony Nelms taken off, it looks like, or rather, David Tripp. And Reed with those 3 steals can really bring something defensively for Bluefield. Jeremiah Jenkins also on. 17-10 left to go in the second half. Here's Dominique Lindsay taking it up. Jenkins to meet him in a midcourt press. Over to Duronslet, now working his way, top of the iron, now spins, and the layup does not fall. But KC Duronslet, boy, or KJ Duronslet rather, what a spin he had, and Richard Morgan hoping for a travel call, he didn't get it. 41-41, first foul called on Stanthony Nelms in this contest. Third foul of the second half in 3 minutes, flat. So Duronslet with another free throw, sinks it. It's been fouled a couple of times, and now 42-41, the lead, I think of the pass now. 17 minutes remaining in the game. Duronslet, second free throw, rattles in. 43-41. Inbounds pass for Stanthony Nelms. He'll bounce into Jeremiah Jenkins, the freshman. Really, Sean Robinson brought on to start out an offensive look for Bluefield, and then Jenkins ends up playing most of the time. Takes the ball across the timeline, passes right wing to Reed, cross-court lob to Concepcion, a hard fake, bounce down low. Nelms looking for the dunk, but instead fouled on his way up. Blakely wanted it to be all ball, and instead a foul called. So now Stanthony Nelms will shoot two. Fourth foul called on KJ Duronslet, already in mounds of foul trouble, and it looks like Seth Cox will come in to relieve him. And Duronslet listed as a guard at 6'3", 182. Nelms with the shoulder shrug, exhale, the free throw bounces away. Duronslet taking off of the floor. Here comes Seth Cox, the 6'11 junior from Indiana. 43-41, Rams down by 2. Second shot for Nelms, sinks it. 43-42. 16:44 remaining in the game. A bounce pass into Blakely. Hard, couple of dribbles, bounces left side over to Cummins. Crossover back up top in the middle. Here's Lindsay, open lane down the left side. Feeds Cox off the glass and in. Perfect little dish, and the 6'11 man got it to fall. 45-42. 16:23 left to go in the game. A chest pass to Concepcion. Looking for a couple of pivots. He needs to get back on top as well. Hard dribble from Nelms. Lost the ball, but a foul called. And Bluefield catching a break as the foul is called on Austin Cummins. His second. Team second. It'll be an inbounds pass. Kevin Schmidt still on the floor for Bluefield. It's one of the big men now. One-arm pass into the backcourt for Jorge Concepcion. Now 16:10 remaining in the game. A bounce pass over to Jeremiah Jenkins. Chest pass to Jorge Concepcion. Rips it right back up top to Jeremiah Jenkins. Lob in the left wing. Reed steps into a tray and knocks it down with a foul. A special kind of and one. Bluefield able to tie it up. But now looking for the lead with this free throw coming up from Tyquan Reed. 16:01 remaining in the game. 45-45. Reed eyeing the rim, hoping to give Bluefield the lead right back. With the left hand, he shoots and scores. 46-45. Third foul on Seth Cox. Mind you, that's one of the other big men for Union. Duronslet with 4 fouls, now Cox with 3. Lindsay at the top of the key, angles inside the perimeter, retreats back out. Now spinning in the lane, going for the layup. He is fouled on his way in. It looks like really the method to this game. Drive in, get fouled, get a couple of free throws. Both teams with over 3 fouls. So that was Bluefield's 4th. Jorge Concepcion with his 2nd foul. Lindsay with the first free throw. Nothing but net. Tied up once again at 46-46. Now the Rams going into the halftime with a 4-point lead. Knew it couldn't stay that way for long. Second free throw falls, and Union has the lead again. 47-46. Clock is stopped at 15:47. David Tripp shuffling down the baseline, bounces it into Jeremiah Jenkins. Long outlet to Kevin Schmidt. and a foul called in the backcourt. And Jenkins actually pretty disappointed in that because he had Kevin Schmidt wide open under the basket on an outlet pass. David Tripp to inbound, Bluefield to take it up to midcourt without any press. Jeremiah Jenkins going to be locked up with Dominique Lindsay. 15.5 minutes remaining in the game, down by 1. Jenkins in the right wing, bounce down low to Kevin Schmidt on the right block. Bounces in towards the paint. Hook shot with the left hand. Air ball, and David Tripp will be called. Rather, it'll be on Stuart Jackson. Looked like the foul was going to be called on David Tripp on the over the back. And I think even David Tripp thought that as well. He was about to go back on defense. Meanwhile, that's Stuart Jackson. He's that all back. It was a late whistle for the foul called on Kevin Schmidt's shot. So now the freshman will have 2 shots, and he just plunks it in off the back iron to tie it up at 47-47. So Kevin Schmidt with the left hand. The young man from North Carolina follows through and bounces both of the free throws in. He really had it on his side there. 48-47, 15:28 remaining. Bounce pass in from Cummins over to Dominique Lindsay. Back and forth we go. A 1-point lead for Bluefield after they led going into halftime, 37-33. Could shape up for an exciting finish. Hard step from Lindsay. Back up top of the key. The senior from Tyrone, Georgia. Chest pass to Jackson. Launches a 3. Rims out. No good. Rebound. Blakely goes back up for 2. Missed. Bouncing around the rim. Under the basket. Wrestling for it now. Jackson. Now Tripp. Corrals the ball. Swipes it up. Top of the key to Cummins. Now Cummins feeds. Almost stolen. Cox got it off the bounce. Going for 2 and missed again. Jackson with a putback and foul. Ugly stretch of basketball. Everyone was on the floor, and it finishes off with Stuart Jackson getting fouled. The senior from Louisville, Kentucky. First free throw. Nothing but net again. That's the 3rd foul on David Tripp. 48-48. Rams really hoping to keep that intensity going, though. This game has not slowed down. Second shot for Jackson. Bounces through the nylon to make it 49-48. Bulldogs with a 1-point lead. A bounce pass in from David Tripp will start out a new offense for the Rams. Both teams with 5 fouls. Already 5 minutes elapsed in the second half. Jenkins with a fresh lane goes out of a double team. Bounces over to Naquan Cousins. His pass off of the thigh of Lance Blakely out of bounds. And the Rams will inbounds it with 15 on the shot clock. Jeremiah Jenkins just meandering, cutting through defenses, trying to find an open man. Slaps the ball, looking for help, and lobs it on the left wing to Tyquan Reed. Backs out. His pass tipped out of bounds by Austin Cummins, and the defense really starting to trickle for Union. Now that just took 2 seconds off the shot clock. It's now at 13. On the game clock, 14:36. Reed to inbounds on the far sideline, and he pops it back out over to Jeremiah Jenkins. 10 on the shot clock for the freshman. Passes over to Reed. 8 on the shot clock from the top of the key. Finds Jenkins. Now over to Concepcion. 4 on the shot clock. Jenkins, desperation. 3, and he knocked it down. 51-49. Somehow that went through. Jacoby Wharton bounced pass down low, and looked like Stuart Jackson got fouled. That's the 16th foul. Nothing can get done down low in this game. In the women's game we had just moments before this, it seemed like anything really fell in a quick contest. Donnell Gooch back on. Naquan Cousins take it off. Slap of the ball from Dominique Lindsay. Chest pass into Blakely, and he's rejected at the rim. 51-49. Reed pickpocketed. Cummins on a 2-on-1. Straight to the basket. Fouled, and the layup doesn't fall. So Donnell Gooch possibly with a good foul. His first foul. We'll have to see how these free throws amount. Rams up by 2. This is a Union College team that actually swept them last year. When they came to the Dome, the Rams only lost by 5 in what ended up being a Bulldogs national championship campaign. Well, the head coach, Kevin Burton, as the first free throw falls for Austin Cummins. That Bulldogs team won 33 straight games last year to close out this season. Incredible winning streak. Second shot, good. 51-51, tied up now. 14:06 remaining in the game. Could be an AAC Classic. Meanwhile, Union is already in the bonus at 1-1. Bluefield has 7 fouls. Jenkins pops over to Concepcion, returns back to his point guard. Now the junior from Vance Granville Community College, Taekwon Reed, feeds over to Concepcion. Bounce down low to David Tripp on the right block, backing into the lane. Hard spin, goes for the floater, front rim, rebound Cummins. Here comes Union down the other end. Cummins, the sophomore, steps into a tray, knocks it down. 54-51. 13:30 remaining. Cummins with the rare transition jumper. Jeremiah Jenkins setting up an offense right in front of his head coach, who is oddly seated. Usually standing up, and an offensive foul called on Taekwon Reed on the moving screen. He got it mixed up with Dario Little. 13:18 remaining. Now an inbounds ensuing for Blakely and Union College. Fresh shot clock, taking the ball right to left, a 3-point lead for the Bulldogs, really their largest of the second half. Here comes Wharton on the right side. Chest pass over to Dominique Lindsay. Almost stepped into a shot from the elbow. Instead feeds to Blakely. His corner two, no good. Rebound for the point guard, Jeremiah Jenkins. Still zigzagging his way around the defense. Back behind the back pass, or behind the back dribble. Feed over to Concepcion. Looking for help, and he's fouled. Going up towards the basket once again. A foul called on Stuart Jackson. That's the team's 6th foul. 12:50 stopping the clock now. This could be a long second half. Timeout called by Kevin Burton to stop the clock at 12:50 in the second half. Rams down by 3. Bluefield trails by 3 here on the Rams Digital Sports Network with 12:50. It's 54-51 here at the Dome. Out of the timeout, David Tripp back in for Bluefield. A chest pass on the left wing over to Jeremiah Jenkins. DeJuan Perry also back in as a shooting threat for the Rams. Concepcion dribbles down the lane, powers it off the glass, and sinks it for his 13th point of the night. Leading the way for Bluefield, right behind him with Taekwon Reed with 11 points. 54-53, Rams down by 1. Cummins, sophomore, over the head pass over to Stuart Jackson, eyes the rim, and after a stutter step, jump ball, and Bluefield will get it off with a tie-up. 12:20 on the clock, Seth Cox back in. Union really going deep into the bench. Substitutions have been aplenty, especially with Duronslet with 4 fouls. Seth Cox has 3. Going back the other way, 12:15 Here's Jeremiah Jenkins across midcourt, passes right wing to Concepcion, feeds left wing to Juan Perry. At the top of the key, over to Donnell Gooch. Bounce down low to Tripp, spins out of the double team, and with pressure, he was fouled, and Blakely once again upset with that. 7th foul. So Bluefield in the bonus. It's the 3rd foul on Lance Blakely, the junior forward from Lexington, Kentucky. First shot for David Tripp. Nothing but net for the young man from Connecticut, and Bluefield has tied it up. 54-54, 12:03. Be a high-scoring contest going down the stretch. Bluefield with no rebounders as David Tripp follows through and sinks the second. 55-54, Rams have taken the lead. Another lead change, 12 minutes remaining in the game. Dominic Lindsay taking the ball across midcourt now with Jeremiah Jenkins peering over the defense. Now switching over, Jenkins back on. Here's Blakely down the left side, picks it up, goes for the layup and bangs it home. 56-55. Jeremiah Jenkins on the far end of the court off a screen from the elbow, feeds Gooch, pump fake, back to Jenkins, top of the key, inside the perimeter, retreats back out. Crossover dribble, looking for help, finds it in Perry. Out the top of the arc, a handoff to Concepcion. Loose ball, and the young man from Chesapeake corralled it back. 10 on the shot clock, open man to Jenkins, steps into a corner three. Too hard. Rebound Tripp, but still picked out of the air. Going the other way by Wharton. Straight to the basket, Euro step, layup, doesn't fall. But a foul called on Jorge Concepcion on the block. 11-14 in the game. It's Jorge Concepcion's 3rd foul. And we haven't played half of the second half yet. Both teams are in the bonus. Bluefield nearly sending Union into the double bonus as Wharton's first free throw bounces off the back iron, no good. Kevin Schmidt brought back on. DeRonzlet with 4 fouls, and because all the players usually have about 2 or 3 fouls in this game, you don't really question bringing in a guy with 4 fouls with 11 minutes remaining in the game. You just have to. Wharton with a left-handed free throw, sinks it. 57-55. Take the ball across midcourt, Jeremiah Jenkins running the point. Sean Robinson, really haven't seen as much of him in the second half. Now the freshman feeds in the corner over to David Tripp. Now backing his way back out, Concepcion calling for the ball, and he'll get it. 12 on the shot clock. Jeremiah Jenkins now with it. Feed to Kevin Schmidt, a pump fake, looking for help, spins towards the lane. Handoff Perry on the left wing. 5 on the shot clock, backs into a 2, and sinks it from 5 feet away. 57-57. Once again tied up, 10:37 on the clock. Austin Cummins with a hard bounce. One arm pass to DeRonzlet. Now Jacoby Wharton smacked that ball away. DeJuan Perry back over to Blakely though. His 3, not on target. Good rebound from David Tripp. Fighting for another board. Hoping for help. Almost picked away by DeRonzlet, and he kicked the ball out of bounds. Well, it's 57-57. Rams playing not too long ago against Pikeville. Dropped that game 96-78 on December 30th. Now playing for the first time in 2018. Here on January 2nd. David Tripp with the inbounds, tied up at 57-57. Both teams in foul trouble. Rams with 9 fouls, Bulldogs with 7. 16 on the shot clock. Jenkins with a hard drive. Step. Floater, no good, tipped around, looking for a rebound. Cummins got it and beamed it off the side of the head of Jeremiah Jenkins. And that undoubtedly off of the Bluefield point guard. He's got a sense of humor about it, but that had to hurt. Now Cummins went up to get the rebound, saw he was going out of bounds, threw it back in, and just drilled it off the ear of Jeremiah Jenkins, who's laughing. 9:58 remaining in the game. Blakely from the top of the key hands it off over to Cummins. Concepcion on the defense. A feed down low to Cox. Turnaround jumper, got it. 59-57, 2-point lead for the Bulldogs once again. A couple of hard dribbles from Jeremiah Jenkins, who hasn't been as much of a scoring threat in this game. Looking for help. Passes over to Concepcion, right wing, wearing number 10. Ball up on top of his head. Hand off to Jeremiah Jenkins. Zigzag, spins, looking for a 10-footer. Blocked by Lindsay, and he picked it out of the air. 2-point lead, 59-57 for Union. Lindsay feeds Jackson, steps into a three. No good. Rebound Cox, the 7-footer. With the putback, he can't find it. Rebound for David Tripp. 9:13 left to go in the game. It's Concepcion taking the ball up, showing he can also be a point guard for Bluefield. Almost handed it off to Jeremiah Jenkins, steps into the left wing, launches a three, back iron, no good. Rebound for Cummins, outlet pass up to Jackson. One-on-one, going towards the hoop. Euro step, off the glass, no good. Found his own rebound and fouled on his way up. So now Stuart Jackson will have 2 shots. Timeout called by Richard Morgan. That'll stop the clock at 8:52. 2-point game in what could be a classic contest here at the Dome. Union up by 2, 59-57. Back here at the Dome, Rams down by 2. It's 59-57 to the reigning national champion Union College Bulldogs. Leading the way in the scoring efforts for Bluefield, Jorge Concepcion, who's 6 of 11 with 13 points. Taekwon Reed still with 11 points. Those 2 players the only ones in double figures for the Rams, as the first free throw by Stuart Jackson does not fall. 59-57. So a 2-point lead. Jackson, second. Got it. 60-57. The lead is 3. Buzzer in a couple of substitutions. Naquan Cousins looking for his first offensive stamp in this game. He's 0 for 1 from the field on just 1 shot. Taking the ball up, it's Sean Robinson giving Jeremiah Jenkins a breather. 8:45 remaining. 20 on the shot clock. Jenkins with a hard step on the right side. Feed over to Taekwon Reed in the corner. Pump fake. Zips it back out top of the key to Robinson. Hand off to Naquan Cousins. Down by just 3. Cousins hands it off to his point guard. One arm pass over to Taekwon Reed. 5 on the shot clock. They have to make one. Robinson bounced through the legs of Tripp. Doesn't know the shot clock, and he did not get the shot off. Bluefield with no awareness right there of the shot clock, and Richard Morgan pretty upset and frustrated at that possession. Really, as he should be. Rams down by 3, and both teams really dishing out baskets on either end. They can't have mistakes like that. Down by 3. Here comes Union College. Dominique Lindsay with the ball near the top of the arc. A hard step in. Lobs down low to Seth Cox. Tipped away. Loose ball. Picked up by the 7-footer for Union. And he pickpocketed once again by Taekwon Reed. 8 minutes left in the game. Reed, alley-oop to Cousins. Off the glass, no good. But he was fouled on his way up. Sean Robinson, meanwhile, limping. It took him a while to get from the backcourt to the front court. Rams trying to hoop it up a little bit and just couldn't convert, but luckily for Bluefield, able to get 2 shots for Naquan Cousins. As Cousins eyeing the rim. Robinson likely to be taken out. Jeremiah Jenkins brought in. First shot for Cousins. Good. That makes it a 2-point deficit, and now Jenkins looking to be a tad bit shaken up. Limping as he goes to the bench, but still managing to get a high five from everybody on that bench. Bluefield already without Gage Yesbeck in this game. As Cousins eyes the 10. Looking for the second free throw. Good. 1 point game once again at 60-59. 7 of 57 remaining. Lindsay really taking his time now. Had a good finish in that women's game, looking for the same in the men's. Lindsay near midcourt, dribbling with his left hand, passes left wing over to Cummins, feeds in the left corner, lob down low, bouncing in towards the lane, missed the shot. Bluefield looking for a rebound, loose ball. Blakely still pinballing the ball around, and Nae'Qwan Cousins somehow got it. Jeremiah Jenkins, cross-court lob to Taekwon Reed, off of contact. He picked up the foul. Reed went down to the floor hard, and now the referee is looking for a possible flagrant call here. So a technical on Cummins. So a foul call to the reach and then pushing him down afterwards. So Bluefield will have a couple of these shots. Meanwhile, so have 2 shots for the technical and then a 1-and-1 right after that. So here's Nae'Qwan Cousins eyeing the rim. First shot, back iron, no good. And Taekwon Reed saying it didn't count. He took the free throw too early, and he just told his whole team to relax because he missed that free throw pretty terribly. And everyone was wondering why he took that shot. Meanwhile, coach is still talking with the referees. Right now, it's a technical foul on Cummins. He is now fouled out. Or rather, it was a double foul. So Reed ready, giving it back to the referees. Feeding back to him. He'll have 2 shots. So this one indeed counts. Looking for the tie. First shot. Good. 60-60 with 7:27 remaining. Now just 1 shot. Cummins taken off, and that is a devastating blow for Union, already in a decent amount of foul trouble. Here's Reed with the second. Good. 61-60, and he will continue to shoot. So 2 shots again. Reed bend to the knees, shoots, and scores. 62-60. What a terrible time to have this foul. So they called a dead ball contact foul rather than it being an inbounds play. So 4th shot, no good. 62-60, and the Rams will get it back. So a confusing end. Kevin Burton, I think, wants to assume that one of those would have been a 1-and-1. Just trying to rectify what happened. Now the Rams will get the ball. 7:27 remaining. What a huge swing right there off of a bad foul from Austin Cummins. Cross-court lob over to Taekwon Reed. 7:20 remaining in the game. Rams up by 2 with a possibility of going up by 2 possessions. Pump fake and a lob over to Jenkins. Kevin Schmidt from the right elbow, hoping for help. Puts it on the deck. Bounces left block to Stanthony Nelm. Spins in the lane. Backdoor pass to Schmidt. Under the basket. Underhands to Reed. Ugly shot. Missed it off the end of the backboard. And a rebound for Blakely. So down by 2. Here comes Union under 7 minutes to go. Lindsay, hard drive down the left side. Lost the ball off of his own thigh. And a devastating turnover that could be if Bluefield is able to convert here. Jeremiah Jenkins, once again the point guard. Sean Robinson limping off of the court just moments ago. Called for Jeremiah Jenkins. Here's Taekwon Reed, pass over to Stanthony Nelm. Steps into a 10-footer, instead passes it back out to Reed. 15 on the shot clock. Here's Nae'Qwan Cousins. Zips it over to Jeremiah Jenkins on the right wing. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Jenkins with a hard couple of bounces. 6 on the shot clock. Long 3 for the point guard. No good. Loose ball. Still looking for a rebounder, and it is corralled by Lindsay. Cherry picking on the play. Blakely able to convert to tie up the game at 62-62. The outlet pass down the floor. 6:10 remaining in the game. Richard Morgan calling for a new offense. Naquan Cousins on the left wing. Overhead pass over to Taekwon Reed. Underhanding it back. Bounce down low to Reed. Going off for two. Blocked by Duronslet. Rebound Schmidt. Going for the putback. Missed. Duronslet with one arm. Wrestled that rebound in. Looking for the lead at 62-62. Duronslet going like a Tasmanian devil down the floor and lost that layup. Jenkins with the two, and he missed. Going in transition. Now Richard Morgan not happy about that shot. Going for the transition jumper. He did not get it.
Get under control.
So Jenkins will have two shots after the third foul is called on Blakely, who was teed up in the first half. Jenkins eyeing the rim. First free throw. Swishes through and rings the iron. Both teams in the double bonus, mind you, 63-62. Now Jenkins eyeing the rim once again. Second shot. Once again, nothing but nylon at 64-62. Now Blakely on the right end of the basket. Inbounds pass. Bluefield after that big foul swing where Taekwon Reed made 3 of 4 free throws. Able to get Bluefield back on top. 64-62. Cummins now fouled out. Lob back near the top of the arc for Blakely. Tried to press in, but retreated back out. Duronslet almost lost the ball, but picked it back up near the logo. Now dribble down the lane. Kick out to Cox. Corner 3. Too hard. Rebound Jenkins on the left side. Passing the ball up to Reed. Bluefield moving fast in transition. Bounce down low to David Tripp. Prayer of a layup missed. Going out on the corner off of Blakely. And Bluefield catches another break in the left corner. That'll stop the clock at 5:09. Stuart Jackson taken off. Jacoby Wharton back on. Here's Taekwon Reed. He'll dish it on the far end of the hard court. 64-62. Jeremiah Jenkins and the Rams operating with a lead and 15 seconds on the shot clock. Off the screen, here's David Tripp. Jenkins bounce out right to Taekwon Reed. A pump fake and a lob to Concepcion. 7 on the shot clock. Concepcion needs a shot. 5 seconds. Now into the lane. At the buzzer, at the glass, and he nailed it. 66-62. Now the midcourt pass to Duronslet, straight to the basket, stepping towards the lane, and an offensive foul called on a hook by Seth Cox. So Duronslet had an open lane because Cox had a bad hook right there. So now it is 66-62, timeout call. That's his 4th foul, 4:40 remaining in the game. Bluefield up by 2 possessions. Timeout, David Tripp passes in towards Jeremiah Jenkins. Bluefield operates for a 4-point lead. 30 remaining of the game. Jenkins taking the ball across midcourt, and the Rams setting up a new offense. 4:30 on the clock now. Lob in. Naquan right elbow. Down low to David Tripp. On the left hand, missed the shot. Tipped up past the basket. And a foul called by David Tripp again. Not the possession that Richard Morgan wants. Team already up by possessions. David Tripp. That'll be considered a defensive foul on the rebounding efforts of Seth Cox. So that's his 4th foul. So Cox with 4 fouls for Union. The big man for Bluefield. David Tripp with 4 of his own. Cox with his first of 2 free throws. The big man 6 and nothing in that. 66-63. Second shot for Cox, and he rattled it in. 66-64. David Tripp hoping for an inbound. He'll get it, his team up by 2. This could come down the wire. 4:17 remaining in the game. Jenkins lobs it over midcourt as Taekwon Reed positioned in the corner. He's been quiet. 4:07 remaining in the game. Jeremiah Jenkins shuffling around towards midcourt. Crosses over on the left wing. Enters the perimeter and backs back out. Zips it back up top to Jorge Concepcion. 9 on the shot clock. Off of the screen. Concepcion, top of the arc. Now on the right wing. Crossover dribble. Fadeaway jumper. Blocked by Duranzlet. 2-point lead for Bluefield. Here comes Lindsay down the floor going for 2. And gets the basket to fall on a contested layup. Tied up at 66-66. 3:35 remaining in the game as Concepcion walks looking for a timeout. He'll get it. Richard Morgan corralling his team to talk this one over at 66-66, 3:32 remaining. In a game where the lead has changed 19 times, we are once again tied up for the 15th time. It's 66-66, 3:30 remaining in the game. Here's Nae'Qwan Cousins at the top of the key for Bluefield. Rams in the white, hoping to steal one away here at the Dome. Jeremiah Jenkins on the left wing, 8 on the shot clock, near the top of the key. Pass over to Cousins, steps into a tray, no good. Rebound for Blakely. Handed off right back to Lindsay, and Union has scored on consecutive possessions. Rams have come out flats. 3:05 remaining in this contest, deciding a win in the AAC. Bluefield at 7-4, Union College at 8-5. Both teams with 2 losses in conference. Rams with 3 wins though, and Union College at 5-2 in the AAC. 8 on the shot clock. Lindsay in front of the arc, steps into a 3, no good. Looking for a rebound. Jackson off a bounce, gets it back on the deck, going up for 2, and a jump ball is called. It will stay with Union, so they will have a fresh shot clock. Seth Cox brought back on. Stuart Jackson take it off. Seth Cox a little bit slower, but still 7 feet. Tallest player on the floor, so no fresh shot clock now. 27 shot on the shot clock, 66 seconds. 66 the score. Lindsay feeds to Duranzlet. Long 3 from the wing, nothing but net, and it's now 69-66. Duranzlet has 4 fouls, as he has had since the beginning of the second half. 3-point lead for Union, now on a bit of a run, 7-0. Jenkins hoping for help in the left wing. Chest pass to Nae'Qwan Cousins. Crossover dribble through a double team. Finds the layup through the defense. Back to a 1-point game, 69-68. Athletic play made by the big man. Now 2 minutes remaining. Dominique Lindsay in the right wing. Over to Duranzlet. Hard step, and he drew a foul as he entered the perimeter. That's going to be on Stanthony Nopes, young man coming out of Georgia. That's his 2nd foul, and both teams in the double bonus, so that means 2 shots. Duranzlet with his hands on his knees at one point. It looks like he was favoring his chest after bumping into Stanley Nelms pretty hard. Nelms will get it back. 1:56 remaining in the game as Duronslet eyes the first of his 2 free throws. Got it. 70-68. So another lead change. That's the 20th lead change. As now Duronslet, scoring the past 4 points, now has 11. Swirling the ball around in his hand, shoots and scores. 71-68. 3-point lead for Union. 1:52 remaining. Jenkins hoping for some sort of offense. The Rams have been quiet the past couple of minutes. Lob to David Tripp on the left side. Steps in towards the basket and gets the layup to fall with a foul. Untimely foul called for Union, but David Tripp will take it. It's now 71-70 with a chance to tie. And that's on KJ Duronslet. He is now out of the game with 5 fouls. Meanwhile, Seth Cox has 4. So now 2 players for Union have fouled out. David Tripp looking for the tie. Shoots the free throw. Good. Tied again, 71-71. Timeout called by Richard Morgan with 1:41 remaining. Could be a classic here at the Dome. All tied up at 71-71. (71-71). Just about under 2 minutes remaining in this game. Been fouls aplenty. Total fouls for Union, 23 personal fouls, and for Bluefield, 20. For the free throws, the Rams have taken 34 and sank 28, while Union has hit 23 of 27 from the stripe. Now with the ball back, 71-71. Here comes Union. Full court press, and Concepcion with an ugly foul before Dominique Lindsay could even cross the half-court line. And Concepcion, that will be his 4th foul. So now him and David Tripp both with 4 fouls. And Lindsay will go to the free throw line with a chance to shoot 2 to take a lead. 1:39 remaining in the game. Wiping the sweat off of the floor. Have a decent amount of fans here considering how bad the weather is and how really there are no students on campus. We won't get back here for another couple of days. Sweat is wiped off the floor, 71-71, 1:39 remaining. Lindsay, the senior, with a first free throw. Swirls out of the cup and drops away. Still tied up. Lindsay with a second. Got it. 1-point lead with 1:39. It's 72-71. Jeremiah Jenkins. Bluefield with 3 timeouts and Union with 4. Naquan Cousins on the left side. Pops it back over to Tripp. Towing down the baseline. Going up for 2. And he will be fouled out after the charge is drawn by Stuart Jackson. David Tripp going out of the game, and that takes a weapon off. Bluefield already without Gage Jesbeck. David Tripp going down the baseline, drawing contact, and now that is his 5th foul. Minute 25 remaining, 72-71. David Tripp pretty besides himself. Finishes the game with 10 points and 8 rebounds, very close to a double-double for the young man out of Connecticut. Bluefield not pressuring off the inbounds this time. Dominic Lindsay will take the ball up the court without pressure until he meets the logo. Minute 20, Jeremiah Jenkins hopping up on the defense. Off the screen, Lindsay veers left. Passes back out up top to Blakely. Doesn't have a shot he likes. A minute 12 remaining. Lindsay, hard step, going down the right side. Swings out to Blakely, launches a three, and gets it to go. Best case scenario right there, 75-71 with 1 minute remaining. Taekwon Reed and his Bluefield College Rams down by 2 possessions. Concepcion on the left wing. Hands off, no, he'll keep it. Back over to Nyquan Cousins. It's Anthony Nelms, top of the key, dribbles down the lane, goes up for 2, lost the ball, and it will stay with Bluefield after Seth Cox stood like a stone wall and the ball bounced off of him. 8 seconds left on the shot clock, 42.7 on the game clock. Jeremiah Jenkins to inbounds. Quick pop into Stanthony Nelms. Hands it off right back to his point guard. 5 on the shot clock. Cross-court lob to Concepcion. Concepcion dribbles in the lane. Separation, dribbles, and that is a foul called on Jorge Concepcion. So he had a push off looking for a step back, and instead Union fell to the floor and Concepcion has fouled out. So 4 players have fouled out in this game. 2 for Union, Austin Cummins as well as Duronslet. And now Bluefield has sent 2 to the bench in David Tripp and Jorge Concepcion. And that's one of the main shooters for Bluefield, down by 4 at 75-71 with 35.9 seconds remaining in the game. There'll be an inbounds pass in for Blakely, lobs it in. Bluefield not fouling as of yet. There's about a 5-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Lindsay feeds over to Wharton, almost lost the ball, kicked out of bounds. Who is it off of? It will stay with Union. Nyquan Cousins thought that he had pushed the ball off of Stuart Jackson, but now a timeout called by Union. 25.3 seconds remaining in the game. A 4-point lead for Union. Rams hoping for a comeback, and the Bulldogs trying to bury it here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. It'll be an inbounds pass with 20 seconds on the shot clock, 25.3 on the game clock. So there is a 5.3 second differential right about there between the shot clock and game clock. Inbounds pass to Anthony Nelms, pressuring. Swung in to Seth Cox, hands it off right back to Blakely, one of the main shooters. 15 seconds on the shot clock now. Bluefield down by 4, 75-71. They have to foul, and they do. So now Blakely will go to the charity stripe with 2 shots. So far for Blakely, a guy that was teed up earlier in the game. This is his first free throw attempted in the entire contest with 17.2 seconds. First shot, good. Makes it 76-71, and the chance is starting to dwindle for the Rams. Shot clock is off, a 5-point lead. Second shot. Back iron, rebound Schmidt. Bluefield has to move. Nelms bounces it back over to Jeremiah Jenkins down the lane. Right side, floater doesn't go. Nelms looking for the putback. Instead, Nyquan Cousins gets it to fall and makes it 76-72. Or 73 rather. 76-73. Timeout called. We're going to stay live here. Just about 30 seconds on this timeout. Rams down by 3. They would have to foul here, so Union looking for one of their better free throw shooters to go to the line, try to sink one to make it very tough for the Rams to try to come back. Rams hoping that possibly he could miss both, They get the rebound and go down to try to take a three. Now the three-point shooters on the floor, Tyquan Reed, Jeremiah Jenkins has hit one. Naquan Cousins not scared to take the tray as well. But Jorge Concepcion, arguably the best three-point shooter for Bluefield, fouled out, as is David Tripp. Rams have 2 members of the team already fouled out, so they will send DeJuan Perry, another guy that could shoot the three, out onto the floor. Now hoping for a steal or possibly more likely a foul. Inbounds pass for Lance Blakely. Shuffles down the baseline, gets it into Dominique Lindsay, and he is fouled. It's going to be on Tyquan Reed. So obviously in the double bonus, now that puts it at 6.3 seconds. Bluefield needs Lindsay to miss both. And so far, he is 5 of 5 from the charity stripe. 6.3 seconds remaining. He'll have 2 shots. Meanwhile, that was Reed's 4th foul. First shot, in. And that might seal it at 77-73. Really back and forth contest. Rams led by 4 at half. As Lindsay misses the second. Here comes D'Anthony Nelms with the rebound. Zips it back up to Jenkins. Going down the lane. Floater from the left elbow. Good. With 0.2 seconds remaining. A timeout called by Richard Morgan. And Kevin Burton saying, I wish he had his clock operator. Somehow Jenkins got that to fall. Makes it a 2-point game. And pretty much an impossible task to have this actually happen. After all that, Kevin Burton just talking with the clock operator here. They'll move it back up to 0.5 on the clock. It was at 0.2. Now Union really has to screw this one up if it's not going to work. It's 77-75. And Jenkins sunk the shot. Still down by 2 with half a second remaining. It was 0.2. They restored 3 more tenths of a second back onto the clock. Rams hoping for a steal and a score. Stolen by Nelms, had the shot, and he hit it. And that was so close. No one touched it. Now the referees are saying that the game is over. So the inbounds pass went off of D'Anthony Nelms. That's when the game ended. Nelms hit the shot at the buzzer, but the buzzer already sounded. So a odd way to lose, but still a great game here. 77-75, Union wins right at the end. What a great game to be here at the Dome. Tough way to start out the 2018 campaign for Bluefield. Still a fun way to have it. That's, well, 7-5 or 7-5 now. The Rams sit with a 3-3 record in the AAC. Union College bouncing back after a loss. They are now 9-5 with a 6-2 record in the conference. So for my cameraman, Stevie Collier, my name is Bailey Engel, reminding you the final score from Bluefield. Union wins 77-75. And until next time, take it easy, Rams fans.